your thoughts on this thing called the Vinny Lock. Can you describe what it is, why it's named what it is?
Everybody loves Bendy. I'm Bendy's wife to like 90% of the jiu-jitsu community here in Vegas. Most of them don't even know my name. But anyway, he was going and training over with the guys at Syndicate. They wanted him over there. He's a great training partner. And he came home one day and he was like, "You are not going to believe what I learned today." And Vinny Magalhães had taught it to him. And apparently Vinny calls it a leg lace. Maybe he learned it from Keenan. I don't know where it came from. Honestly, if you look at old Eric Paulson videos, he was doing something pretty similar, if not the same thing. But we learned it from Vinny, and we're really big on citing our sources. So thus we have the Drysdale position. Anytime you hear me talking about a technique, I will be like, I learned this. This is a concept I got from Charles Harriott. This is a thing I got from a Craig Jones video. So we started calling it the Vinny Lock, and then we realized that there was two pieces to it, the Vinny Lock and the Vinny Control. So that's kind of been our differentiation from it. And obviously we've kind of taken it and made it our own. I've seen other people call it the King Kneebar. So what it is, I am taking the leg that I'm not attacking and I'm dragging it up behind the leg that I am attacking. And I'm putting my knee pit on your ankle pit. And then I'm straightening the leg and controlling it so that that's where the hyperextension comes from. In that, all of the little pieces of control I have to do the traditional knee bar, the heels and the butt, the squeezing of my legs together, the perfect position of my hip line to your knee line. The foot control is still important, but all of these things that are like a lot of working parts just all of a sudden disappear. And it doesn't matter how hard you curl your hamstring. I can take your heel and I can push your knee into my belly with it, and all of a sudden now your hamstring is fighting my whole body. It's not fighting my bicep anymore. Like if you were to do that with a traditional knee bar, now it's my two biceps against your hamstrings. I'm not going to win that fight. But when it's my whole body, I can definitely win that fight. Then when I get the foot up to my head, I want to pinch it with my head, because if you can start to rotate your knee, you can still kind of create problems there. And yes, there's a side knee bar that you can kind of get into it, and that's pretty gross. That can be really nasty, but not always, because sometimes the structure of your knee is kind of meant to hold up. And so it kind of puts it in a position where your knee is a little bit stronger there, and you can pass it over for a heel hook sometimes too. So it's not like the foot control is the end all be all, but like if I can prevent a scramble, I'm always going to prevent a scramble. I'm going to finish the submission over letting you roll around for a while. And I actually did get out of one of Bendy's Vinny Locks one time by rotating my knee around. It took me 3 minutes. I was literally watching the clock. It took me 3 minutes to get out of that position, but I did end up getting out. So there is some weakness to it, but it's so powerful. But yes, going back to what you were saying about the extra steps, and especially with our students, I sit in that, I get to my position, I'm in the Drysdale, they're like, oh, I'm not giving you this other leg. But that's where I will start to roll back to my traditional knee bars. And so it definitely has its place. When you don't want to let me have that other leg, that means that you've let your leg I'm attacking free. If you're kicking the other leg away so that I can't get my Vinny Lock on it, if you're kicking your legs forward so I can't get my Vinny Lock, there's a forward knee bar that we do from there. So there's a lot to it, but yeah, trying to stabilize an attack out of our control positions has gotten way more challenging, especially as our students and training partners have started to understand and recognize. Then they know what they need to do to stop it. We've definitely become more positional people the deeper we've gotten into this, because the submissions, your students know you well. And if you're going to lose your position diving on a knee bar, which I think happens a lot, and I think that's where knee bars get a bad name too, is people are like, oh, there's a straight leg, let me jump down to the end, but they haven't controlled the hips, and people just slide right on out.